I did my capstone presentation on the Paw Bible. There was a family of 6 cats, known as the Paw family, living at the George's house. They were a simple cat family. The father, Nate Paw, the mother, Oriana Paw, and the 4 daughters, Raven, Lana, Afra, and Chris Ann Paw. Nate Paw wanted to show the other cats out on the streets what it is like to be a house cat and how much better life is being a house cat. So then, the happy Paw family went outside into the streets until they found Congo Alley. Nate Paw thought it was the best place to stop and bring his ideas to the area. Oriana and the rest of the girls didn't like it, but thought they would give it a shot. There were a lot of alley cats out there, and Nate went around and talked about living in a house, and they all thought he was crazy. The streets were their life, and they didn't think it needed a change. There were only a few cats that listened to Nate because their lives weren't that good out on the streets. One street cat helped the Paw family adjust to the Congo Alley, and her name was Mama Furball. As they were out on the streets, they thought they would get food by putting their food bowls out, but no one came and filled up their dishes. Mama Furball told them that isn't how cats on the street get their food. They have to dig in trash cans and find their food. And that is when Oriana didn't think it was an easy to live on the streets. The next day, Nate insists on all the cats to go to a house and try to get some food. Nate wants to show them how converting to be a house cat is easy and is perfect for themselves and others. Most of the street cats started to walk away when Mama Furball told Nate that a cat was taken away by a pound last time they went to a house. So that is why no one wants to convert. Nate doesn't want to give up and continues to keep at his idea to convert the cats to house cats. And a cat named Anton told Nate that the leader of the alley, Whiskers, thought the move towards being a house cat will change them for the worse. Then in anger, Nate told Anton to leave instead of understanding why it would be bad for the cats. Then the Paws family has a chance to go back home, but Nate doesn't want to go home, even though things are getting grim. And they were running out of food and supplies. The rest of the Paw family wants to go home. Then Nate wants to stay, because he thinks it's his mission to convert them. And Oriana lies there and won't get up for any reason. During the time Oriana lies there, the girls have to fend for themselves and find their own food and things out on the streets. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Oriana gets up and tells Nate that she wants to get her daughters out of there. Out of there, it is going to be a catastrophe. Can someone say it? While Oriana is finding ways for her and her daughter to get back home to the George's house, Lana starts falling in love with Anton. Over time, I personally think they'd be perfect together, said Chris Ann while she watched them talking. And Chris Ann falls into a bad cold. When she gets better, her mother asks her how she's feeling, and she replies, "Don't worry, I'm feline fine." Food shortage happened in the alley when people stopped dumping their trash there for a while, so the cats had to go around to other alleys to find food. It was a tradition that men would go find the food, but Raven wanted to go help find food since she had such a good sense of smell compared to the men. Whiskers didn't like the idea, but it was put up to a vote, and she was able to go. The next morning, there was a dead, poisonous bug next to Anton's sleeping spot. And then wants to stay at the prices because he was frightened that he was going to die. Nate doesn't see the need for it so he says no. The daughters felt bad, so they went outside and sat with him. And the Paw family tries to figure out who it was, and and that it was Whiskers, because they saw the footprint with 6 toes, and Whiskers is a polydactyl. Then when they were following Whiskers, they ran into a poisonous bug again, and Anton clawed at it and it flew past them and stung Chrysanne. Chrysanne felt very ill and almost died right in front of them. But then she got up without a scratch, and her sister Afro said, "Wow, you only have 8 lives left." And then that was it for Oriana. She had to get her daughters out of there. Then Lana states that she wants to stay with Anton, and Afro wants to become a doctor and help the cats in the alley. Raven stays around and marries a few times, and Oriana leaves with Chrysanne and goes back to the Georges. Nate continues to try to convert cats to house cats, so he goes to another alley and brings some of the kittens to a house, and all the kittens get captured by the pound. So, of the cats in the alley, chased Nate away, and he wasn't seen ever again. Then Oriana went back and wondered if Chrysanne will ever forgive her, so she asks her. And then she said gives her, and then understands why she couldn't get her away from the alley because of Nate. The end. And then I have a PowerPoint that compares the story I wrote to Poisonwood Bible. The first page is an introduction to the characters and telling where they're from, like in the book, how they say they're from Georgia and how they're planning on going to the Congo. And then the second page is when they go to the Congo and they move in, and the father goes and tries to talk about Christianity. The third page is relating to the garden that Nathan was making. Like how he made the garden, and he tried to do it on his own way. He didn't listen to anyone. He just thought this is how it's supposed to be because that's how it was back in the U.S. Just like in the cat, like how I wrote in the cat book. They just put their bowls up, just like at the house. The humans would just feed them. And then the fourth page is when Nathan wants to bring the people to the river, but no one will go in because a girl died from a crocodile. That's why no one will go to the house, because last time a cat got taken away by the pound. And then the fifth page is about Anatole, that tells Nathan, the leader of the village, thinks that Christianity isn't the right decision, and Nathan gets angered. Just like how, in the story, how Nate gets told by Anton, and he gets angered. The sixth page is when Nathan doesn't want to go home, and Orleana lies in bed with depression, and that's why the cat just lied there. The seventh page is when Orleana gets up and wants to leave with her daughters. That's what happened, just like in my story. And the eighth page is about Leah and Anatole start to fall in love, and Ruth May gets ill with malaria. The ninth page is when Rachel goes on the hunt, and Nelson wants her to go, but I didn't add Nelson to the story since I just didn't add him. And the 10th page is when Anatole finds a black mamba next to his bed, and then they put ashes around the house to see the footprint and find out it's the doctor, but I didn't add the doctor instead because he was a small part, so this way. And the 11th page is about Ruth May's death, but I don't have any death in the children's book because it's a children's book. You don't want death in the children's book, so I didn't want anyone to die. I had her run away. I said that the cat got taken by the pound and stuff like that. Like the children got taken by the pound at the end. And the 12th page is about how all the daughters go their own ways and the father goes off and runs away instead of dying. And the last page is about Orleana and Ruth May forgiving her for her death.